Welcome to the Book Recap Show. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects, well, pretty much every single one of us. Whether you're running a business, maybe starting a side hustle, or heck, just trying to explain what you do to your family at dinner. We're talking about communication, marketing, and the undeniable power of story. Have you ever wondered why some businesses just seem to get it, while others, even with genuinely great products, they just struggle to connect? What if the secret weapon wasn't some fancy new tech or like a bigger budget, but simply clarifying your message?
It's a huge question and often overlooked.
It really is. So our sources for this deep dive come from excerpts of Building a Story Brand. It's a book that offers a really powerful framework for exactly that, making your communication truly effective. Our mission today, then, is to unpack the core insights from these chapters. We're going to explore how to stop, wasting money on marketing, as the book puts it, and how to make customers actually listen, not by talking more about yourself, but by making them the undisputed hero of their own story. Okay, let's unpack this. So let's kick off with that common frustration marketing that just doesn't seem to hit the mark, even after pouring significant time money into it. What if the problem wasn't your amazing product or service? What if it was simply the way you were talking about it? The book really highlights this. It points out that often we hire graphic designers who are, brilliant with visuals, right? But how many of them have actually read a single book about writing compelling sales copy? Probably not many.
That's a fair point. Design and message clarity aren't always the same skill set.
Exactly. As the source puts it, kind of bluntly, pretty websites don't sell things, words sell things.
Oh.
And if your message isn't clear, then all that investment in beautiful design, well, it can be like holding a bullhorn up to a monkey.
Just noise.
Just noise. All the potential customer hears is chaos. And, when you're trying to clarify your own message, it can often feel like you're inside the bottle trying to read the label.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly hard to see your own stuff clearly.
It's a common, super frustrating experience for business owners, and honestly, it's a common experience for customers, too, just trying to figure out what a business actually does.
And what's fascinating here is the why. Why is this problem so widespread? It really boils down to basic human psychology. The book references Science Mike, that's Mike McHargue, who explains that the human brain's primary, overriding function is simply to help an individual survive and thrive.
Okay, survival. Makes sense.
Yeah, think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Our brains are constantly scanning our environment, filtering everything for information that helps us get food, water, find safety, build relationships, or ultimately find meaning. It's fundamental, a deeply ingrained survival mechanism.
Right.
So this leads to two critical mistakes brands often make. Mistake number one is failing to focus their message on how their offer helps people survive and thrive. If your message doesn't directly address these core fundamental needs, then, as the source bluntly puts it, good luck selling anything to anybody.
Ouch. But probably true.
Totally. Our brains are constantly sorting information, discarding millions of unnecessary facts every second. Like the analogy in the book. If we're in a ballroom and there's a fire, our brains don't start counting the chairs.
No. You look for the exits.
Exactly. You find the exits. So when your brand talks about its random backstory or its internal goals, it's essentially positioning itself as the chairs, not the exits. Your brain just doesn't care. It filters it out as irrelevant to survival.
Okay, that's a powerful image. Chairs versus exits.
And mistake number two. Brands cause customers to burn too many calories. Mental calories, that is.
Mental effort.
Right. Too much effort trying to understand their offer. The brain is designed to conserve energy. It's lazy in a way. So if you're forcing a customer to, run on a treadmill just to figure out what you do,
they'll just tune out.
They'll tune out quickly. This survival mechanism in our brains is actually designed to ignore confusion to save those precious calories.
That mental calories idea really hits home for me. I remember trying to understand some complex software once, and I gave up. It was too much work.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So this isn't just about sales, is it? It feels like a fundamental principle of human attention, especially now in the digital age. Think about short-form video. Its whole design is built on conserving mental energy, right? Minimal effort to consume.
Cognitive ease.
This idea of cognitive ease seems even more critical now. So if we're constantly burning those calories, trying to understand noise, story is how we deliver the information efficiently. Is that the idea?
Precisely. And this is where story comes charging into the rescue. The book emphasizes that story is maybe the most powerful tool we have to organize information. Why? because it's a sense-making device. It
Yeah.
naturally works the way our brains want to work. It identifies ambition, challenges, and a clear plan. It puts things in order.
Okay.
There's even neuroscience insight here. Apparently, people spend over 30% of their time daydreaming, zoning out, basically.
Sounds about right for me.
Huh. Yeah, but unless they're engaged in a story, when we're immersed in a narrative, the source says the story does the daydreaming for us. It captures that wandering attention.
Interesting. So it's efficient for the brain.
Incredibly efficient. Story is like music, and most corporate communication, unfortunately, is like noise.
Explain that. Music versus noise.
Well, music follows rules the brain can engage with. It has melody, structure, rhythm. It makes sense. Typical corporate communication, on the other hand, the book uses this amazing image. It can sound like a cat chasing a rat through a wind chime factory.
Wow. Okay, that's vivid.
It's chaotic, right? Unstructured. Quickly forgotten. A well-told story provides that structure, that melody, allowing the brain to process information effortlessly and, crucially, remember it. It's almost like we're pre-wired to prefer story.
I can definitely see the logic there. It feels intuitive when you put it like that. So where do companies struggle the most when they try to apply this idea in practice?
Good question. Because it sounds simple, but
Right. The practical application is fascinating. The book talks about the cutting room floor principle, how good storytellers, just like good marketers should, ruthlessly cut out anything that doesn't serve the core plot, which in business is the customer story. If it doesn't help the customer move forward, it has to go.
that discipline is key, and often the hardest part.
I'm fascinated by that Apple transformation example in the book. When Steve Jobs returned, what was the first practical step they took to move from what the book calls 9 pages of geek talk for the Lisa computer?
Right, that massive, dense ad.
Yeah, to something as universally understood and, frankly, brilliant as think different. Just 2 words. How did that shift actually happen on the ground?
Well, the core shift began with a deep understanding, or maybe a re-understanding, of who the hero was supposed to be. Before Jobs' return, Apple often acted like Apple was the hero, talking about its tech, its features, its own journey.
Mm-hmm.
After his return, heavily influenced by the storytelling principles he'd absorbed at Pixar, Apple made a very conscious pivot. They started asking different questions. Who is our customer? What do they aspire to? What are their frustrations? And how can we help them achieve their goals?
So, flipping the script entirely.
Exactly. The Think Different campaign wasn't really about the max specs at all. It was about celebrating the customer's desire to innovate, to be creative, to stand out.
It tapped into an identity.
Precisely. And notice, the story of Apple, even today, isn't actually about Apple. It's about you. You're the hero. Apple brilliantly shifted to playing the role of Q in James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
The guide who provides the cool gadgets, the tools you need to win the day.
Ah, the guide. Okay, that makes sense.
And this leads to such a crucial insight from the book. People don't buy the best products. They buy the products they can understand the fastest.
Say that again. That seems important.
People don't buy the best products. They buy the products they can understand the fastest. Apple didn't always have, objectively, the best technology in every category, but they made it incredibly easy to understand how their products fit into your story, your aspirations. Clarity won.
Wow. Clarity beats complexity. It certainly sounds incredibly powerful. But are there common pitfalls, like misconceptions people have when they first try to implement this customer-centric framework?
Oh, definitely.
Because this isn't just like intuitive marketing brilliance, is it? The book presents it as a proven formula for clear communication, built on literally thousands of years of storytelling best practices.
Right, is tapping into ancient patterns.
And the mantra is so simple but stark. If you confuse, you'll lose. Noise is truly the fierce, insidious enemy of business. It costs millions, billions probably, in lost opportunities every single day.
It really does. And the biggest pitfall, it's the brand's natural, almost gravitational pull towards remaining the hero of the story.
Wanting to talk about yourself.
Exactly. We instinctively want to talk about our journey, our cool innovations, our genius. We think that's what's interesting. But this framework ruthlessly strips that away. It forces an almost uncomfortable pivot towards the customer. It demands focusing on their story, not yours.
Uncomfortable is a good word for it.
It really is. This isn't just a minor marketing tweak. It's a profound reorientation of a company's entire self-perception. It demands, frankly, humility. and a real genuine understanding of the customer's deepest desires and frustrations.
I can see how that would be a huge challenge. It reminds me of a time I tried to explain my own startup idea to my grandma. I thought I was being crystal clear, you know?
Huh.
But by the end, she just looked baffled and said, "So you're selling stuff." It felt exactly like that inside the bottle analogy. I couldn't see how confusing I was being.
We've all done it.
The anecdotes in the book really drive this home, too. There's that story about the industrial painting company client.
Oh yeah, the website that looked like an Italian restaurant.
Right, complete with a painting of his own building. He was, as the book says, answering 100 questions his customers had never asked. What was the hardest part for him, do you think, in making that shift? From Italian restaurant website to clear communication?
For him, and honestly for many businesses, the hardest part was letting go. Letting go of information he thought was important, maybe even felt proud of, but was actually just distracting noise to the customer. The suggested fix was radical, right? Wipe it clean, show a guy in a white lab coat, painting something, maybe.
Super simple visual.
Yeah. And text had just read, we paint all kinds of extract percent. Well, you get the idea.
Pretty direct.
And a big button, get a quote.
Mm.
That's it. And the whole class apparently agreed his business would grow. Why? Because he'd finally stopped forcing clients to burn mental calories understanding his life story and instead offered a crystal clear solution to their problem.
It's about recognizing that clarity often means less information, not more. Ruthless editing.
Absolutely. Less is definitely more, especially when it comes to conserving those mental calories.
Another great example in there is Kyle Schultz, the fireman turned photography teacher.
Right. The sales increase was staggering.
Yeah. He increased his sales from $25,000 to $103,000 using the same email list.
Oh.
By removing like 90% of his sales page text.
90%.
He dropped all the technical jargon like stop this and aperture that, and instead used simple, customer-focused language. Things like, take those great pictures where the background is blurry.
He spoke their language about the results they wanted.
Exactly. It's like Alfred Hitchcock's definition of a good story. Life with the dull parts taken out. Good branding, good marketing does the same thing for complex companies. It cuts the jargon, cuts the noise, gets to the point.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, this proven formula, this structured approach, is precisely what the StoryBrand framework or SB7 framework provides. It's a series of 7 universal story elements that organize your messaging to really engage customers, primarily by making them the hero. It's truly a tried and tested narrative arc applied directly to business communication.
Okay, let's break down those 7 elements.
Right, so first, element 1, a character. And this is crucial. The character is not your brand, it's your customer. You, the listener, if you are the customer, you are the hero. As communication expert Nancy Duarte advises, think of your brand as Yoda and your audience as Luke Skywalker. The focus is on the hero's journey. So the first question is, what does the hero, the customer, want?
Got it. Customer is the hero. What's next?
Second, the hero has a problem. Now, companies often sell solutions to external problems like needing a new roof, but customers are almost always motivated by the internal frustrations those problems cause.
The feeling behind the problem.
Exactly. Can you think of a common internal problem that companies might miss? Like, it's not just needing lawn care, it's the embarrassment they feel when neighbors walk by.
Or it's not just needing accounting software, it's the worry about making a mistake on taxes or the fear of an audit.
Perfect. That internal feeling is the real driver. So third, the hero, and meets a guide. That's your brand. Customers aren't looking for another hero to compete with. They're looking for someone competent and empathetic to help them win.
Like Q for James Bond or
Lionel Loke, helping King George VI overcome his stutter in the King's Speech. Or Obi-Wan guiding Luke. Or Haymitch mentoring Katniss. The guide expresses empathy, I understand your problem, and demonstrates authority, I have the expertise to help.
Okay, guide, not hero. Makes sense.
Fourth, the guide who has a plan. This is critical. Customers trust a guide who provides a clear, simple path forward. They don't want more confusion. Like Yoda telling Luke to trust the Force, you give them simple steps, maybe 3 or 4 steps, to engage with your product or service. This builds their confidence and removes the feeling of risk.
A clear map. Okay.
Fifth, the guide T, and calls them to action. This seems obvious, but people rarely act unless they're clearly challenged or invited to. Your marketing needs clear, direct calls to action.
Like buy now or shop today.
Exactly. Those are direct calls to action. But also transitional ones, like download our free guide or schedule a consultation, which deepen the relationship without asking for the sale immediately. You need both.
Right, different levels of commitment. What's number 6?
Number 6, the story shows what happens if they don't act. It, that helps them avoid failure. Every human being is trying to avoid a tragic ending, big or small. You need to gently show what's at stake if they don't engage with your offer. What problem will persist? What opportunity will be missed?
Like Wendy's famous "Where's the Beef" campaign implied failure getting a tiny burger elsewhere.
Exactly. Or think about Whole Foods implicitly warning about lower quality elsewhere, or Trader Joe's implicitly warning about Whole Foods' high prices. Failure is like salt in a recipe, the book says. You need a little to add stakes and flavor, but too much is overwhelming and negative.
Okay, use it sparingly. And the last one, number 7.
And finally, number 7, the story, and ends in a success. You absolutely must paint a positive, compelling, and clear vision of what the customer's life will look like after engaging with your products or services. What's the happy ending? Think of Apple showing people expressing their creativity, or Weight Watchers showing people feeling confident and healthy. It's about the transformation, the achieved aspiration. That's the destination the guide helps the hero reach.
Wow. Okay, that framework is incredibly powerful when you lay it out like that. Character, problem, guide, plan, call to action, avoid failure, end in success. So once you've crafted your message through that SB7 lens, how do you actually know if it's clear enough? How do you test it?
Great question, because you can still be too close to it.
Right. That's where the grunt test comes in, according to the book. It's a really simple, practical check. The idea is, within about 5 seconds of seeing your website, your ad, whatever marketing material, a potential customer should be able to easily answer 3 essential questions. 1, what do you offer? 2, how will it make my life better? And 3, what do I need to do to buy it?
Just those 3, instantly.
Exactly. And the analogy they use is fantastic. Could a guy in a bearskin t-shirt, like a caveman, look at your website and just grunt the answers?
Well, okay, I like that.
Right. So for an aspirin company, the grunt might be, you sell headache medicine. Question 1, me feel better fast. Question 2, me get it at Walgreens. Question 3.
Simple, clear, primal almost.
Totally.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a product I saw online recently. Looked really cool, nice design, but for the life of me, I stared at it for like 10 seconds and couldn't figure out what it actually did. Failed the grunt test completely.
And that means lost sales every time.
Absolutely. If your marketing doesn't pass that simple, basic test, you're almost certainly leaving money on the table because people are confused and just clicking away.
So this raises an important question then. How can you, the listener, actually use this framework systematically for your own communication? It's not just about theory.
Right. How do you put it into practice?
The practical tool the book offers for this is called the StoryBrand Brand Script. It's actually a free digital application you can find online, mysterybrand.com, I believe. And what it does is help you organize your entire brand narrative onto a single page, guiding you through those 7 SB7 elements we just discussed.
So it helps you map out your customer story.
Precisely. The brand script's purpose is to help you create simple, relevant, and repeatable messages. Core messages you can then use consistently across your website, your keynotes, your email campaigns, your social media, all your marketing collateral. It ensures that crucial consistency and clarity in every single customer touchpoint, which is absolutely vital for cutting through all that noise out there.
And the stakes really are high here, it's worth repeating. As the sources point out, thousands and thousands of companies fail every single year. And often, it's not because they have a bad product or service.
Not at all. Often the product is great.
Yeah, it's because customers simply can't figure out quickly enough how that product will make their lives better. The message failed. It's easy to listen to this, nod along, think, yeah, that makes sense. But the real power comes from actually committing to doing the work, from filtering your own message through the SB7 framework.
It takes deliberate effort. Human nature tends toward complacency, right?
It really does. But the potential payoff connecting with customers, growing your impact is immense. So what does all this mean for you listening right now? It means you now have access to a powerful, proven tool, a way to cut through the relentless noise in the marketplace that bombards us all every day. It means you can potentially transform your communication from confusing clutter into, well, compelling music that your ideal customers are actually drawn to and want to listen to. It means positioning your customer as the clear, undeniable hero of their own story, with you stepping into that crucial role of their trusted guide.
And maybe this leaves us with a final provocative thought to consider. How many sales, how many opportunities are we perhaps missing out on right now, simply because potential customers can't clearly figure out what our offer is within 5 seconds of visiting our website or hearing our elevator pitch?
That's a sobering question.
It is. So I challenge you. Take a fresh look at your own messaging. Or even just observe the marketing of businesses you interact with this week. Look at them through the lens of the grunt test and the SB7 framework. Ask those questions. You might be genuinely surprised, maybe even a little shocked, by what you discover about how clear or unclear things really are.
That's a challenge we can definitely all take on. Whether you apply these concepts to your business, your team's internal communication, or even just how you explain your passions to others, the power of clarity and story is yours to unlock. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.